So I've been trading for over 4 years now, and in that time period, I have made a little bit over $2 million from just day trading. And in this video, I'll be going over 6 lessons I learned in my 5 years of trading, and the 5th lesson is probably the most important one. So the first lesson that I had to learn is that you don't need to trade every single day. When I first started my trading career, I thought that you had to trade every single day in the markets, but the reality to that is that it can actually do you more harm than it can do good, because instead you have to focus on looking for the best opportunities in the market. And guess what? The market doesn't give you opportunities every single day. I want you guys to write this down on a paper or on your phone, wherever. Not taking a bad trade is still trading. Once I was finally able to understand that, it really evolved my trading. I was able to approach every single trading day according to what the market presented. Now, the market will obviously give you different opportunities based off of your point of view, your game plan, basically the way you trade. So you have to figure out what is your strategy, what is the way you trade, and then humble yourself and come into the market and say, oh, maybe the market's not going to give me an opportunity today. My mindset before is that I would always stare at the charts 24/7, and I thought, oh, I had to make $1,000 every single day. If not, I'm not gonna catch up to these traders who've been trading way longer than me, making 10K a day, 20K a day, and so on. And that led me to taking horrible trades, blowing my account in the beginning, basically losing so much money. And when you look back at those things when you grow up, you just feel very stupid. The second lesson I learned is that I had to adapt to the markets. So over the past 5 years, I've realized how the market changes year after year, and the markets have different seasons. So the way your trades are doing now, let's say they are good, this is probably not gonna happen in the next up and coming months. So let me give you guys a quick little example. So there were times where I had great weeks and great months, and naturally as traders, we automatically assume this momentum is going to continue. But what happens with the market in certain situations is that it shifts its direction or pauses the direction it's going in. And our job as traders is to understand and recognize that, so we can make the proper transitions in the market. So let's say you're trading in a crazy bull market. It's trending upwards and you see a large rally. Some strategies may work in that market, but when things shift, you have to learn how to adapt to it, because if not, you're going to lose a lot of money. I've seen many traders do it, and I've done it myself, because they can't recognize a big transition in the market and they get stuck on the same strategy. So next time you are trading for a long period of time and you notice your strategy isn't working, take a step back and ask yourself, did the market conditions change? Is the strategy I'm using not working at the current moment? And why isn't it working? Just try to understand the markets from a different point of view and realize change happens, and when it does happen, we have to learn how to adjust to it. The third lesson I learned is that I had to set realistic goals. Yes, make sure you have realistic goals, because with social media and all of these gurus out here, it gives you an unrealistic expectation with trading. With trading, you're not going to get rich overnight. This is a process, just like any other career or profession in life that you have to study for. Me, in the beginning of my career, I was setting so many unrealistic money goals, and this in itself just leads to emotional decisions, and none of this leads to any good things. This causes so much pressure on us and leads to us making emotional decisions, and this never leads to good things. I remember when I first started trading, I would always say to myself, oh, I had to make $1,000 this day. $1,000 this day and end the week with this amount of money. And all that did was create so many false expectations and put so much pressure and stress on myself. And with trading, we have to have a clear mind and plan. Stress and pressure just does not help. So the goals I would recommend to my past self or to you guys is to not set goals that are money related. So the first year, really focus on my risk to reward, my win percentage, my trading plan, doing all of these things and focus on what I can really control. But if we set unrealistic goals, like I want to make $10,000 a day, $20,000 a day, we are just creating false hope and stressing ourselves out for no reason. So the fourth lesson I learned is that risk is one of the most important things in the market. How much money you are risking, right? So one thing we can actually control as traders is how much we are risking if we are wrong. So before you take any trade, ask yourself, if this trade reverses on me, invalidates my plan, what is the amount of money I am willing to lose? Many people are different. For some people, it could be $3,000, $500, depending on your account size and where you are at as a trader. You just really have to understand that risk is crucial in this journey, and this is something you can control. And I tell everyone who watches me and all of my students to never go over 5% of your total portfolio on a single trade. This is a rule of thumb I use, and it has really helped me in my trading journey. So before you approach any trade, make sure you have a defined risk before you enter that trade. So let's say it's $500 for me, then you need to be okay with losing that $500 if your trade is invalidated. One thing I used to do in the beginning of my trading journey is take a trade and say to myself, oh, if this hits right here, I'm going to make $2,000, completely ignoring my risk and trading with no plan. Because in the beginning, we all have that ego, thinking, oh, we're not going to be wrong, and then we end up taking a big position and it leads to us getting burned. If your risk is not managed well, you won't have a good time accepting periods of drawdown, or you won't have a healthy P&L curve. So make sure to accept risk, and most importantly, make sure you're managing your risk. Now the fifth, and as stated, probably the most important lesson was journaling my trades, which basically means just tracking and analyzing my trades. So in my first year of trading, I was never journaling. I would never do proper analysis. I basically wasn't doing anything. I would wake up and enter a trade without knowing what I am trading, what my risk to reward ratio is, what my win percentage is. I was basically just trading blind. This is the mindset I had in my first year and 1 month of trading. And during that year and a half mark, that's when I really started to take trading seriously. And one of the key component factors that elevated my trading was tracking my performance, tracking my winners as well as my losses. So I started tracking my risk to reward, my winners, my losses. All of this gave me a better understanding of what I was really doing wrong, what size I was putting into each trade, how my emotions were reacting. Because you see, a lot of traders do this. They only track their winners, end up forgetting why they're even winning on this win streak, and take up a big position on their next trade, and that way they get burnt completely. So once I really started tracking these things, it really let me know where I am excelling in my trading and where I am lacking in it. So I was able to cut off the baggage in my trading, focus on the areas where I was good in, the strategies that were working and why they were working, And I was able to use all of that to my advantage. And the way I was able to do that was by tracking and journaling my trades. And if you guys are wondering how to do that, you can literally use any notebook, download the Notes app on your phone, use a website on your laptop. You can literally use anything, a paper, as long as you are journaling. I highly recommend to start journaling. Start analyzing your pre-market session game plan, your after-market session game plan, what trades you took and how did they do, because all of these things are very important to have the highest possible chance of success with trading. Now, the last lesson I learned, which is extremely important, and most of you guys should know by now if you watched my videos, is that trading is 90% emotional. There is so much psychology involved with trading the markets. And one thing I hear a lot is that you have to eliminate emotions. And to a certain extent, that is true. But naturally, as humans, we are always going to experience emotion. We just can't remove emotions entirely. It's built into our nature. But what we can do is manage our emotions. Get better at understanding ourselves. Get better at understanding how we react to certain things in the market. So this right here basically kind of goes hand in hand with journaling. So my question to you guys is, and I want you to take your time with this question, is when a trade hits your stop loss, do you close the trade automatically when it hits that level? Or do you hold it with FOMO, start praying that it goes back up to your take profit? Also, how do you feel when a trade actually goes in your favor? Do you get greedy and start diamond handing, hoping for more profits? Or do you actually follow your plan and take your profits? How do you respond when you have 3 back-to-back losing trades, or let's say winning trades? Do you get really excited where it affects your next trade? These are all questions you have to ask yourself, because everybody responds differently to emotion. And in my first years trading, I tried to eliminate emotions, and I realized it was impossible. So how did I manage them? And for me to manage them, again, it all basically tied down to journaling, learning how I reacted to a loss, learning how it was I would respond. And something else that really helped me out was telling myself to focus on the next 100 trades. I can have the best trading day of my life tomorrow, or the worst trading day of my life. Whatever it is, I'm going to still be thinking about my next 100 trades. So if you have a big day or a bad day, don't stress about it so much, because if you look at the grand scheme of things, what is that one trade compared to your next 100 trades? You start to realize how small that one little win or losses. And if you keep your risk managed, you don't go crazy or over risk, over time you will eventually see success with trading. And every trade you take won't impact your psychology or your emotions, because you are just getting better as a trader. If I go and lose a trade tomorrow, it's not going to affect me. Why? Because I have a clear mind. I'm thinking rationally, because I'm thinking about my next 100 trades, and it's not going to affect me. I'm not letting that last trade I took impact my next trade. So these are some of the lessons I've learned in my almost 5 years of trading. I've been through so many ups and downs with trading, and I know you guys are probably saying, oh, but this guy has made so much money, $2 million. But guys, I didn't start making this amount of money until like 2 to 3 years ago. It just shows you this is a long-term game. If you're not successful in your first year, stay disciplined and work towards your goals, and eventually you'll find success with trading. So that's it for today's video. If you guys found this helpful or educational, make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. We have a vlog coming in this week. I'm gonna be watching UFC 300, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Best UFC card ever in history. And if you guys want to see more trading videos like this, just click right here for my trading playlist. I'll see you guys on the next video.